Today, ladies and gentlemen, is the day. The final Generation Zero update is out now. I've had tons of playtime on it. I'm really enjoying it so far. The first playthrough episode should already be out by now, but you won't get to see any of these bad boys in it, because today we're going to look at the 3 new experimental weapon variants that have been introduced to the game. The AI-76, the HP5, and the Sjoqvist shotgun. Pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it, but I'm just winging this. Now, very excited. These weapons are very cool, and the team gave me early access to the update, so I got to play with these a little bit earlier than expected. I still need to figure out where you get them from, but as per usual, I'd imagine good chance from Reaper and Vulture, and then tanks and Firebirds. That's more than likely the way that you're going to be getting these weapons. Go for those high-end machines, and just like any experimental, that's the best place to go. You go in after Tyrants, you'll more than likely end up with a couple of experimentals. With the way that the loot pool has changed, I've been coming across better weapons throughout my playthrough of the update. So I'd highly recommend going for the Tyrants and high-end enemies. So let's jump in and check out the machines themselves. Before we do though, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers before Christmas, so that's 13 days to go. Can we do it? Fondle those buttons, help me get there. Once again, a massive shout out to Systemic Reaction for giving me early access to the update. Let's jump in and check out the new experimentals. Then we have the experimental HP5. The experimental HP5, as we've already spoke about before, pretty damn cool because it's got self-targeting. Now, I'll go over how the targeting system works in a second, but as you can see here, we've got a little sort of radar connected to some, well, sort of jerry-rigged to some wires towards the front end of the weapon, and it works really, really well because you can target any part of a machine. You'll be targeted on that part for around about a minute, so you can turn around and face the other way and still shoot, and those rounds will still make its way onto that machine. It's still chambered in 9mm, it doesn't change the rounds at all. The only thing that does change on the rounds for any of the weapons is obviously the experimental AI-76, the Any Ammo AI-76. This still uses 9mm, you can use armor piercing or the normal FMJ, but still really cool weapon, and it just works really nicely, especially if you've not got the best aim or you want to run around a little bit whilst you're taking out enemies. You can literally run around searching. As long as you've targeted a part of the machine, it will work really nicely, and this is how it works in combat. Now, the way the HP5 works is relatively simple. As you can see at the bottom, you've got like a little radar thing. And now, if you aim at any point on a machine, it doesn't matter what point it is, it doesn't have to be a specialist point. You can see you have this red circle appear. Now, you can aim absolutely anywhere. And as you can see here, if I just turn to the right and shoot, it will automatically train those bullets. You do not need to aim at all. It works so nicely. It's just really smooth if you are in a bit of a pickle and you want to run around, you want to get some healing done, you know, you can just fire off a couple of shots, get your first aid kits out, bish bash bosh, and then if you've got an extended mag and stuff like that as well, it does seem to work really, really nicely. It is actually a really cool weapon. This may be one of my favorites, just purely because you are using almost every bit of your ammo. You are not wasting any ammo on these. And if you can get up close and personal and aim at the right point, those weak points, like the guns and stuff like that, you can just obliterate them. And it stays on for a good amount of time. You've got about a minute before it actually disappears. And then if you do destroy that component, the timer will reset on another part of the machine itself. So it works really, really well, taking out some of those bigger dudes. This is going to work brilliantly against the knees, the sort of armor reactive pads on the Reaper, and taking out Firebirds and stuff like that as well. Obviously, the ammo doesn't pack much of a punch, but because you're getting so many shots on target, it's really viable against the bigger machines. So we're going to start off with the Any Ammo Experimental AI-76 Assault Rifle. The AI-76 is one of my favourite weapons in this game as a standard weapon. Now, the Any Ammo AI-76, yes, any ammo is a little bit of a lie, but as the team said themselves, almost any ammo didn't sound quite as good. Now, you can load any small caliber ammunition into this, even 50 cal. So the 50 BMG rounds you can use on this weapon. Now, depending on the rounds that you use, it will change the magazine size, the firing sound, and the recoil of the weapon itself. It works really, really nicely. It looks really cool. I love that front section. Just looks a little bit futuristic, but the rest of the weapon stays the same. You can still add all of the stuff that you want onto it. So attachments like silencers, scopes, all of that good stuff. I prefer to run the AS-76 with no scope and using the iron sights. Just think it looks a bit better and just feels more maneuverable. I don't really think it changes anything, but it does feel more maneuverable. It's a great weapon all round, and with this update, it works really, really well. So as you can see, normally you press the button and you will change the ammo type. We can take .44 hollow point, which is pretty beastly ammunition as it is, 7.62, 50 BMG, 9mm, 7.62 FMJ, 7.62 shock, loads and loads of stuff. It works so nicely, and having that 50 BMG ammo in there, you can get a lot of beastie rounds downrange very, very quickly and very easily. Obviously, the fire rate and the recoil, bit of a beast. But if you're using the experimental 50 cal a lot, then, well, this thing will probably outdo that. You can whack a scope on this and get a hell of a lot of rounds downrange a lot quicker and a lot more accurately than what you could with the 50 cal. Taking that thing down very quick. I've already put a couple of rounds into it, but it's just so easy to use. Getting up close and personal, taking down the machine components works really, really well. And then switching out to the 9mm, which is obviously a lower caliber round, works pretty damn cool. The fire rate picks up a lot. There is literally zero recoil. This thing has pinpoint accuracy with that ammo in it. You can see the massive difference between the recoil on the 50 BMG ammo and this 9mm ammo. So using the standard 7.62 doesn't really change anything. Works the same as what it did normally. Shock ammo, I think, is broken because it doesn't seem to be putting the actual pellets, the shock pellets out that it was beforehand. So as you can see, like, oh, it does work. You just don't have the visual effects as much as you did before. Okay, so that's quite cool. I did try shooting it against the wall and nothing seemed to have happened. So let's try the .4 hollow point rounds now. Now, these things are beastie anyway. Got a little bit more recoil. Not really that much, though. You can still pop some rounds downrange without too much of an issue. Accuracy's nice. It's easy to get along with. You're not really fighting it. And the damage that you do, just the amount of FPS that you're going to be getting, DPS, sorry, not FPS, it is mental. Especially, once again, with that 9mm, those 9mm rounds, there is no recoil. This is pretty much a sniper. It is not moving at all. It's just beautiful. It works so nicely. And just, look, nothing at all. But then, obviously, when you have got that 50 cal in there, it's bouncing around like a madman. The amount you have to fight it is insane. But it just works so well. I actually really like this weapon. Not much has changed on it, and it's just now much more usable. If you are running out of ammo or you've got loads of shit ammo, load it in this and it will work wonders. Then we have the Sjoqvist. I don't know how to say it. I'm not even going to pretend I do. The semi-automatic shotgun. This is now an experimental shotgun which basically fires dragon breath rounds. Now, it's important to note that these rounds do not work on slugs. They only work on buck and birdshot. So anything that's got a bit of a spray to it are going to work a lot better. The slugs not going to do anything too much, but I do like the look of it. Seems like it's a little bit longer than what it was beforehand. As you can see, there's some form of aerosol can underneath there. And this was my favourite shotgun in the game. It's an awesome shotgun. You can get so many rounds downrange really quickly. It works so well in bunkers. And having that sort of dragon's breath element to it, just giving the fire onto the machines, giving them a little bit of fire damage over time, it just works nicely. I'd imagine not too many people are going to be using this as they're out running around. It's definitely more of a CQB weapon, but it works really well in any bunker situation, taking out most of the enemies that are around you very, very quickly. The only downside to this is it does have a very small ammo capacity with just 5 rounds in a magazine. Now, as you can see, the range on this thing is terrible, but I love the little effects that it's got. Just seeing the fire fly out and catch on to some of these dudes is awesome. It works so cool. It is one of my favourite shotguns. And just the ability to have damage over time does make it a little bit more viable against the bigger machines. You can move around quickly with it. The ammo for it is so easy to find. And yes, the mag size very small, but it doesn't take long to reload. It takes, what, 3 seconds to pop those 5 shells in there, and it is a good gun. It works nicely against the sort of small to medium-sized machines, but against some of the bigger dudes, as you can see, it doesn't really pack as much of a punch. It works. You can take them down, but you're going to be running around a little bit more than what you would if you were using sort of the any ammo AI-76 or something along the lines of the HP5, which has that tracking ability. Because using something like this, you are more spraying than actually aiming for certain points of a machine. Obviously, the damage over time is a great bonus. And with this gun, if you're not familiar with it, you can just reload one slug at a time. All you've got to do is sprint to sort of deactivate the reload. But it didn't take long. It took less than a minute to take this dude down. So relatively easy. And I do like it, but after 3, I'd say this is my least favourite. I think at the moment, the HP5 is probably coming up on top. The AI-76 is a close second. And then, finally, we have the Sjoqvist, or however the hell you pronounce it, shotgun, coming in last. But what do you guys think of the new experimental weapons? Have you found them yet? Let me know in the comments down below. Massive shout out to the team once again for giving me early access and let me try these weapons out. Now we're going to play on my normal account, and we're going to go through the nice grinding process of finding these bad boys. I'm very excited to get stuck in for the storyline. That should have come out before this episode, I believe. But yeah, hopefully you're enjoying the Generation Zero content. Help us get to 20,000 subscribers before Christmas. That is just 13 days to go and around about 900 subs. So tough. That's just under 100 a day. Can we do it? I don't know. I hope so. Pull together, share the video, drop a like on it, and stick around for much more Generation Zero. We'll be back tomorrow with some more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.